This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Power FM, live and free from the Toowoomba Sports Club on Power TV Australia. And now, here's your host from the Obie and Cookie Call on Power FM, Andrew O'Brien, aka Obie.
Well, thank you very much, Robbo, and welcome to this week's Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show. And joining me is a regular panellist, none other than the bloke who gets... I saw you on the Fox, and you had one of those finishing... you went the cartwheels over the fence. Did you see that through the week?
Yeah, Matty John's show on Sunday night. I think it was
right.
on there. It gets a regular start on there. I think it's one of his favourites, Matty's. But
it is.
I should start getting some royalties from there, I reckon.
I think you should as well. And arguably the competition's best player. It's an honour to have him here on the Footy Show. None other than Waddles, Matty Duggan. How are you, Matty?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks very much for having me. And I just want to say to Justin, it's definitely my favourite. So.
And have you had one of those Matty John's days? Film things, mate?
No, I've never been there.
Never fallen over a fence.
No, I've never fallen over
But
a
have you
fence.
had something that you've been really embarrassed with, mate? Like missed a field goal, missed the ball or something like that?
I've missed plenty of field goals, but nothing quite like Justin's anyway.
That's exactly right. I liked, I've got to say, David McGrady's kick out from goal a couple of weeks ago, and it went all of 5 metres out. So that was really good. So let's get stuck into the show. We haven't got much to talk about because the Mustangs are having a bye this week, and they had a bye last week because the competition had a bye last week, and the normal ladder has got a bye.
Yeah, I know. It's strange, isn't it? Hopefully they get back and play for their local clubs this weekend then and have a run around.
Yeah, that'd be really, really good. And the Phillies, well, their season finished. We talked about them playing Anala, I forget the other side, and we'll talk about them and we'll see them in next season. All the best for your off-season, Phillies, and congratulations, the first year you've played in both divisions. It was a tough gig for them, wasn't it?
Definitely was tough, and they knew it was going to be a tough season for them, but I think they've learned a lot from this season. Hopefully they can build into the future now.
Okay, well, let's get into the summary of last weekend. And look, I went out to Gundawindi, and I tell you what, it really opened my eyes on how fantastic our clubs are in our area. We are leaders in the state by an absolute mile. The Intrust Cup was out there. It was a fantastic game. Redcliffe Dolphins and East. It was 16-14 Redcliffe over East. And it was just fantastic for our area. Hey, Murph.
Definitely. Some of the guys coming back to play that have been playing for Melbourne Storm in the last few weeks. I think that's great. Playing NRL one week, in Gundy the next week.
And you saw a lot of the footage on social media and the TV. Matty, fantastic.
Yeah, I got to watch a little bit of the game, and I thought it was a really high quality game. So, yeah, sorry about that.
That's right, mate. Was that
yeah.
Brody Croft ringing you for some pointers?
Yeah, fix them up a little bit. So, no, I watched it on TV, and I thought it was a really good game, and it's really good for the State League to have that round where they get around the country, and for Gundy to see that, and yeah, really good for the TRL.
And congratulations, Redcliffe Dolphins brought 2 or 3 busloads of their supporters out, and they stayed for the Dolby Gundawindi game, and it was a fantastic atmosphere for the Dolby Gundawindi, of which Dolby won 46 points to 14. Mistake-a-thon in the first half for the Boars, and then the class rose to the top, as you can see by the Player of the Year points. Steve Franciscus 3 points. Matty Gardner from Gundawindi had a very consistent season. He had 2 points. He was in the centres. And then Chris Wilkes played front row the previous week, played lock this week, and he had 3 tries. Have you heard about it?
I haven't heard about the 3 tries. I know he's got a lot of skill. He's played in the centres. He's played a few different positions, and he's been a good player for a while up here too. So.
Yeah. And have you seen any forwards in your team, mate, score 3 tries?
Not that I can think of.
Maybe you should pass them all.
Ryan would have if you passed, he reckons.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he keeps telling me how much of a good footballer he's made you. In reserve grade, look, one of the matches of the year, Dolby, and they really needed to win it. 2 seconds out, Gundawindi, they score and win the game 28-26 in reserve grade. I was going to say, I know the young winger who who scored that try after it, Murph, and I saw him at the Queenslander at G'day Sal after it, and he was milking it. He was milking winning that game for them as well. Good on you, young fella. Under 18's another great game here. 30 points to 24, Dalby over Gundawindi. And there were other under 18s, a heap of them on the weekend. South Burn at the Smokies in that competition, 26-0 over Oakey. Warwick 54-14 over Waddles. South 32-24 over Pittsworth. That was on Friday night, and beware the Tigers in that competition. And then the match of the round, and obviously I reckon the match of the year. What a pearler this was, Murph. 32 points to 30, Gatton over Valleys.
Yeah, it was a close game, and Gatton wanted to come with something to prove. They're probably just outside of finals contention and won't make the finals now, but they've turned up here and shown Valleys what they are capable of if they had been like that all year.
I mean, like, whilst Valleys lost and everyone's gone that Valleys is gone, they've got some injury problems, but look, they played very, very well, Valleys, and let's not forget, Gatton only beat you guys by 1 point, didn't they, Matty?
Yeah, we were probably pretty lucky to get away with that game as well. So, you know, Gatton are probably a little bit unlucky not to be in contention. If a few of those closer games go in their favour, they're probably right up there. So.
And you kicked the field goal in that game, eh?
I did kick a field goal in that game.
How many times did you tell Ryan, mate?
Oh, I don't have to tell him, he knows.
Oh, that's right. But look, I've got to tell you right at the end, 5 minutes to go, Murph. All right. Brett Seymour, his second game back, throws one of those Justin Murphy's passes, all those Matty Duggan passes, and it went right on the chest of Hayden Lip. 40 metres out now. If there's one player you don't want to chase, wants to chase you in the competition, all right, from Valleys, who would it be?
Yeah, Dylan Chown, definitely.
Dylan Chown. Well, Lippy's got him 15 metres start. Okay, Chowney turns around and away we go. I'm in the commentary box going, come on, run Forrest. Anyway, so Lippy got him. He turns round, he touches Chowney, puts him off balance, puts himself on balance, and they wrestle. And Lippy on his back goes over the try line and puts it down. Absolute dreams. Unbelievable stuff. Well done, Lippy. You got our player of the match, obviously with 3 points. Corey McGrady, I tell you what, I really watched him on the weekend, and his defence, I reckon, is even better than his attack, and his attack is very, very good. He's a good player, isn't he?
Oh, he's a very good player. He has been in some good systems before, and he's a bit mature in age now too, and I think he showed that this season. He's had a really consistent season, and still got a lot of good footy ahead of him.
And Matty, injuries or no injuries to the Roosters, so long as they've got that bloke in the side, Valleys can do some damage, eh?
Yeah, Corey's a class player, and he probably shows that every week. But yeah, I think Valleys the past couple of weeks have probably been a bit light on, so it does make it a little bit hard in this competition. But I actually went and watched this game, and I thought the centre for Gatton, Jennings, was outstanding. I thought, yeah. And
he was, and he did a job on Liam Capewell, didn't he, mate?
He did a very good job. I think he probably scored 3 tries and set up 2 or 3. So
he sure did, and look, I think it confirms that he is the best centre in the competition. We're looking at Fuimano and those guys, and Franciscus, but. Look, Jennings, he's been a breath of fresh air for us this year, hasn't he?
He's grown all season too, hasn't he?
He
He's
has.
improved a lot, and he's getting comfortable with the combinations that he's had, which is showing too, I think.
Yeah, it's funny, like when Gatton played Waddles, he did a lot of damage to you guys after you led 16-0 at one stage, didn't he?
Yeah, he probably got him back in the game that night as well. So I hadn't seen him until then, and he sort of impressed me, and then he impressed me again on the weekend. So yeah. I think he's definitely one to look out for.
And yes,
another thing with Valleys, I heard you mention it a couple of times a bit of the injuries. I think they've got to get over that now, because they mightn't get players back, and injuries is a part of footy as well, I think too.
It sure is. Look, there's a few injuries around. I'm sure you guys have got them, but I heard Steve Rogers went down today. I don't know whether that's going to miss this week or next week. I don't know how long that's going to be. And talk about really good games. I'll tell you what a great day. Were you there for the end of reserve grade, Matty? Valleys and Gatton?
No, I wasn't. I got there sort of a couple of minutes into
Valleys and Gatton in reserve grade have played the last 3 grand finals, okay? And it was a very important game as far as the mix for the top 5 in reserve grade, and it was an 18-all draw. So those 2 teams over the history, I don't know how they do it, but congratulations to both those sides. Under 18, another great game. Valleys are out of the finals, but Gatton are really in the top 3, 22-16. They got the biscuits in the second division. Gatton 44-10. In other games, 74-18, Highfields over Brothers. Player of the Year points. Josh Everett scoring 3 tries for the Eagles. Sean Loxley and Denzel Burns playing havoc there in that match. Reserve grade 62-0 Highfields over Brothers, and unfortunately Highfields won on a forfeit from Brothers in that game. They were the only 3 senior games. So as we go to the break, let's hear from one of Toowoomba and Highfield's favourite sons. We saw him out there at Gundawindi, Brodie Croft, who played for Melbourne Storm Feeder Club, Brisbane East. This is the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show.
Coming up after the break, we'll look at the latest points table. This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Power FM, live and free on Power TV.
Andrew O'Brien reporting QRL, TRL Media, and we're here with one of Toowoomba's favourite sons, Brodie Croft, and congratulations on your career, but not too happy today, just down by 2 points.
Yeah, it was a quality match of football. I thought both sides really showed up to play. Credit to Redcliffe. They had a really good game plan and stuck to it, probably better than us, and they probably deserved the win in the end.
Yeah, you were saying to me before, when was your last game here at the mighty Gundawindi Boys Club?
I played here. My last game was probably under 12s, trialling out for a representative team back then. So I haven't been back here for a while, but it's certainly good to get back out here and see the grassroots.
So a lot of people may not know, but you played Highfields Juniors, didn't you?
Yeah, Highfields Eagles boy. So I played there ever since I started playing football under 10s. So
and who were some of your coaches at Highfields?
Yeah, Nev Nixon was my first coach back there, and
he taught you everything you know?
I'd give him a lot of credit for a lot of the stuff, which certainly helped me in my defence at the start. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and who were the teammates you played with coming up through the grades?
Played with boys like Morgan Fanning. Jared Tudor actually was 18th man here today. Played in the grand final with him in under 16. So a lot of the boys still keep in contact with them, and it's good to come out to grounds like this where I used to play juniors at. And
do you keep an eye on Toowoomba Rugby League competition?
Yeah, I like to keep a little eye on there. I've still got heaps of mates playing in that competition, so and got my younger brothers playing in it as well. So I always like to keep an eye on it.
So you'd be an avid Obie and Cookie Call fan, would you?
I've actually seen it pop on my Facebook feed a few times, so I'd say that. Yeah.
And being in Melbourne, I asked you before, mate, you a latte man or what's happening?
I've converted to an almond latte man. I never really was much of a coffee drinker till I went down there, but so don't mind a coffee.
And you must be thrilled coming back here to your neck of the woods, eh?
Yeah, it was great to come back here. Good drive down through the countryside. A lot of my extended family live out Dalby, so that's where that's where I was born as well. So it's good to come out in places like this and see great crowds as well. So it's good to be out here.
And I know you're excited coming out here, but not as excited as we are having you back home, albeit for a really good game today. Well done on your career, and we'll certainly watch it from now on and hope you have a very illustrious time.
Thanks very much.
All right. Good on you. Thanks, mate.
Thanks for joining us for the TRL Footy Show from the Toowoomba Sports Club. And now it's back to Obie and the panel.
And welcome back to the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show, and what a wonderful gentleman, or young gentleman that person is, Brodie Croft. And isn't it fantastic, guys, seeing those guys come back to this neck of the woods?
It's always really good to see guys like that are playing at high levels and come back, play in this area again, and show the young guys from here that they do have opportunities. I seen Ash Taylor yesterday. He was in town too, and he come out and spoke to our guys at school as well, so he gets back all the time too.
Yeah, and look, Matty, I know there's a bit of an age gap between you and Brodie Croft. What interaction have you had with him over the years?
I've had no interaction with him, actually, yeah. So, to be honest, I didn't even know he was from Toowoomba until he actually started playing. I think he was playing at Eastern, playing for Australia in the 20s before I even realised that he was from Toowoomba. But it's credit to him how far he's gone, and it is a feather in the cap, I'd say, of Highfields and the people that have brought him through as well.
Okay, let's have a look at these points tables in A grade. Wattles 26, Dalby, the defending premiers, on 24, Highfields 22, Valleys on 22, Warwick on 20. They're your top 5, and then followed by Gatton, Pittsworth, Oakey, Gundawindi, Brothers and South. Now what I have done here is done a where the sides can finish. I've got one fault here actually, but Wattles, what I gather, they play Dalby and Highfield's last 2 rounds. At worst, they finished third. At best, they finished first. And Dalby, as you can see by them, they are in the third position. They can't be dropped out of that, and they can finish first. They play Wattles and then they have a bye. This is where I got it wrong. Highfields, at worst, they can finish fourth, but they can finish third there. They cannot finish first. So they've got a great for and against the 370 there. Okay, now Valleys, they play Warwick and Pittsworth, both 2 games that either Warwick and Pittsworth can lose or win. They can finish second or at worst fifth, so it's close for them, and I'll ask your comments after I finish with Warwick. Now Warwick can finish third, but they've got to have a lot of mathematical changes there, but we're looking like they're going to be in the 4th or 5th position. They play Valleys and Brothers, so anything can happen there, Murph?
Well, definitely. It's some mouth-watering games coming up this weekend alone, which will determine things, won't they? Like Wattles with 2 really hard games to finish the season, and Highfields with a bye, and then Wattles to finish with, and then Valleys and Warwick this weekend as well.
Yeah, I think, Matty, I know it's the old cliche, you're only thinking about your next game there as well, but it is interesting to see where teams can or can't finish.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. So I've definitely had a bit of a look and, to suss out sort of where we'll be and who we'll be playing and that sort of thing. So if we can win one of our next 2, I think we're assured the top spot, which is a massive advantage. So we'll be aiming to get that done this weekend.
And Matty, do you go on the Toowoomba Rugby League website and do the predict?
No, I don't.
Everyone else does. Matty, come on, you can get up with
You'll
it.
have to teach me.
I will, mate, so we'll go from there. Now, let's look at reserve grade. This is quite interesting. We've got Highfields on 25, Valleys on 21, Pittsworth on 20, Gatton, who are the defending premiers, on 19, Dalby on 17, Wattles on 16, and Warwick on 15. They're the top, 7 that can make the finals. Then they're followed by Gundawindi, South, Oakey and Brothers. Now, Highfields, right, they will finish first on their for and against. They've got a bye and Dalby to finish. This is reserve grade. In Valleys are on 21. They can finish at best second or at worst fifth, right? And so they play Warwick and Pittsworth. And then reserve grade, again, we're talking Pittsworth. They haven't got, they've got Brothers this weekend and Valleys. At worst, they can finish 4th, and their best is 2nd. And Gatton, well, they play Oakey and South. They should win this, and they'll think that they would put that reserve grade team into the top 3, and at worst, they can finish 5th. Now, look, we've got 3 sides here. There's so many of them can make it, as you can see. Dalby on 17, they play Wattles they have a bye. Wattles and then Highfields, that's right, sorry. And they can finish out of the 5, or they can finish second. What amazing stuff. And similarly with Wattles, they play Dalby and they can't play Highfields. I've got that
No,
wrong.
we play Highfields last, so
Right.
Dalby have the bye.
Had the bye. Sorry about that. But they can finish third and worst 7th. They must have done this really late at night. And then Warwick, they need a lot to happen there. They play Valleys and Brothers, but they can make it and only in 5th position. In under 18s, what a comp and a half this is. This is really easy for me to work out. We've got Highfields on 25, Dalby on 25, Gatton 24, South Burnett, sentimental favourites there, 23, and South on 22. Valleys are the defending champions in under 18, and they are out of the finals, first time in a long time. I can't remember Valleys under 18's
won
been
the
out of
last
the finals,
3
mate.
years. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then the rest of the table: Gundawindi, Pittsworth, Warwick, Brothers, Wattles and Oakey. Now, Highfields are on 25 points. They play South Burnett and Wattles, that's right. And at worst, they can finish 4th. And at best, they can finish 1st. And the next 2, Dalby on 25, Gatton on 24, they can finish at best 1st. And at worst, 5th. So how close is this? Dalby play Wattles and South Burnett, that's right, in the under 18s. And Gatton play Oakey and South. Probably 2 ones you would expect them to win that, but you never know. South Burnett, 2 big games for them. They play top of the ladders, Highfields and Dalby, and at best they can finish 3rd. At worst, they can finish 5th. But one thing about South Burnett, they would have been nice and match fit coming into those finals,
Definitely.
wouldn't
What about the semi-finals in those grades? Anyone that makes it, it's going to be pretty hard. They can probably win it from 5th in that grade.
they? Yeah, you take a good interest in under-18s, Matt?
I haven't seen too much of it this year. I've obviously watched a little bit of Waddles, and they've been, low on numbers,
They have been, yeah.
and struggled a little bit. But it's obviously a close comp, which is always good, and anybody looks like they could probably win it.
Well, let's see how good this competition is. South's got a great for and against. They play Gundawindi and Gatton. They can finish at best 5th, which would be 26th, but they need a couple of things to go with them. And at worst, 5th is there for that South, Matson Rasmussen title holders in that under-18. In second division, we've got Gatton on 20, Stanthorpe and Dalby on 16, Pittsworth on 15, Warwick on 14. Then we've got they're the top 5, and they will be the top 5. Oakey, Valleys and Brothers take up the rest of the ladder there. Gatton will finish first in that grade, and as for the rest of them, they can either finish second or they can finish 5th. That's Stanthorpe, Dalby, Pittsworth, and that last one is Warwick. So another close grade. So there we go. So I think we're going to go to a break, and we're going to look at an interview with the Toowoomba Sports Club player of the match, Dalby's inspirational captain, Steve Franciscus. This is the Toowoomba Footy Show.
Up next, we'll take a look at round 17. This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Power FM.
Andrew O'Brien reporting QRL, TRL Media, and our Toowoomba Sports Club player of the day is Steve Franciscus, and unanimously, is that Chris Wilkes? And that unanimously, and Steve, I thought you really wanted the ball today.
Well, we knew it was going to be a tough game, and Gundy obviously a danger side, and they've only won a couple this year, but they're a really physical outfit. So we're a bit down on troops today, but the boys stood up, and I thought Chris Wilkes and Mikey Sheen had a crack today, and it was a good effort by the boys.
And Steve, as I was saying, I thought you read the game well, and you stepped up when you needed to be, and you brought mates like Croy Blades and Wilkesy with you. Yeah,
Blades was outstanding. He's finding his feet now, so we'll get back to Bladesy to his best form, and he'll be outstanding. Wilkes's had a really good dig, but we got a really bunch of good young guys coming up, Obi, like Cody Milne, Jamie Lawton, and Dylan Mitch Taylor getting more control of the game. We should be in good stead come finals.
Mate, they were falling like flies. Denny Wassell went out, and you had injury after injury, mate. I really thought your depth was very good today.
Oh yeah, we all knew we had some injuries, but we all played hard for each other. Like Chubbsy, Anthony and Beaver, they had a crack, but they were more physical than what it looked out there. It was a really tough game.
And big game next week against Waddles, mate. That's going to be a most important game for you. Bet you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Derek and Ferm will have us prepared well, and it's going to be a big game. But hopefully we get all the troops back next week and put us in good shape come finals.
Anyway, mate, congratulations, a worthy player of the match award, mate, and all the best. And we'll see you next week out there. Good on you, mate.
Council, I'll declare the meeting open. Thank you very much for your attendance. Welcome to our staff.
Hi, this is Mick Jagger on
Classic Vinyl. This is Debbie Harrow from Blondie.
This is Jimmy Barnes here.
Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac.
This is Reverend Willie G from ZZ Top.
The best tracks from the greatest albums of our generation.
That's right.
From your breakfast and coffee to your drive home.
We've got the classic hits that make your workday.
When you got a job to do, go by a lot faster.
Hey, if we haven't said it lately, thanks for listening. The home of classic rock.
Don't touch the dial.
PowerFM. PowerFMradio.com.au.
Whether you're a professional musician, a weekend warrior, or just starting out, you need to talk to the experts at Royce Music. With over 35 years experience, Royce, Toowoomba's oldest music store, specialise in guitars, drums and sound equipment, and can even repair and maintain your equipment. Call them today on 46 327 377, drop into their showroom at 17 Bowen Street, or find them on Facebook. Royce Music, selling Toowoomba's finest musical instruments.
Hi, I'm Neil from CGD Group, and we do printing with imagination. Our products and imaging have that wow factor. Whether it be business cards, flyers, the Coffee Gazette, or our brand new A5 video folders and animation. Have your business branding remembered. Call us today on 4639 5553. CGD Group, printing with imagination.
On Power TV Australia, we take a frank look at computers, the internet and social media with a team of experts from around the world with Switched On IT. Learn what makes the internet tick and how to keep your kids safe online. Discover a whole new world of entertainment at www.powertvaustralia.com or download the app from the Google Play Store.
Thanks for joining us for the TRL Footy Show from the Toowoomba Sports Club, live and free on Power TV Australia. And now it's back to Obi and the panel.
And Steve Franciscus is all class, that's for sure. So let's get on to the preview of round 17. Just 2 rounds to go. And on Power FM special events on Saturday night at Carl Park at Gatton at 5:30 we go on air. The game's at 6:30. It's Gatton versus Oakey. How do you see this one going, Matty?
I'd probably think that Gatton will be a bit strong for Oakey in this one. Obviously Tom Friend will be up for a big game from his boys, but I think Gatton will be too good.
Yeah, Oakey upset Gatton in the first round, Murph, so it's revenge time for the Hawks, isn't it?
It definitely is. They need to show them, and it was a costly loss to Gatton in the first round as well, so I think Gatton will be up for this game. They've been going at a pretty good pace the last few weeks, and good win on the weekend. I think they'll go on with that this weekend again at home.
Yeah, well, it's a charity round for Gatton down there. They're wearing pink jerseys, so they're auctioning them after the game. George Nutsy McVeigh, our Obi and Cookie Call team, he's going to be auctioning those for charities.
You'll be getting one of them for sure, won't you? What number are you after?
I'm after 19 and 20, because if I put them both together, they'll fit me, you idiot.
They've done some good ones in the past. I saw last year they did the NRL clubs.
Yes, they did. That was really good, and they had made a lot of money for that charity as well, so it was absolutely fantastic. The other game on Saturday night, Brothers versus Pittsworth, 2 building clubs at the moment, Murph.
Yeah, they are 2 building clubs.
I think injuries at the start from Pittsworth, but they have lost players over the year.
Yeah, Pittsworth, they've always been a consistent team, and they haven't had as good a season this year. When I think they finishing in the grand final last year, I think they were a little bit overachieved themselves last year, and this year it's just sort of brought them back. But it's 2 years since they won the comp, so it's sort of a rebuilding thing for them as well. I think they've lost a few good players.
Yeah, I think overall, a club like Pittsworth, I think they would be disappointed. It doesn't matter whether we think they were the most disappointing club of the year, but I noticed with the Wattles-Pittsworth game, they were very, very good in patches, right? And I remember with your game, they even got in front at some time, and you came back at half-time, didn't you?
Yeah, that was still a very tough game. I think Pittsworth is still, got some good players there and a good side, but it's hard to sort of stay at the top for long periods, I think. So, as you saw with them winning the comp and then making the final again, they probably just have a few guys that, probably fall off played sort of, probably enough, and then the guys coming through, they just need a little bit of time to probably get up to scratch. So.
Yeah, like Brothers did have a sort of a false start to the season, didn't they? And they were 4 to 6 weeks behind every club, given their coaching dilemmas there as well. And Stumpy's done a good job. They've got a heap of injuries at the moment, but they'll turn up on I think it's Saturday night. Yeah.
Yeah, they're another club, Brothers, and they've got a lot of young players there that are going well too. That have probably played a lot of first grade a bit before their time as well, which hopefully in the next few years, if they stick solid, they'll really see those improvements on the field from them.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years the brothers have been out in the wilderness, Matty, because you've had many a battle with brothers, especially your Valleys days.
Yeah, that's right. To start with, coming through, playing A grade at 17, they were probably the toughest side, sort of for the first sort of probably 3 to 5 years, I reckon. So it does sort of go in waves like that, and they're probably going through a bit of a tough stage now, but I'm sure they'll turn it around.
Okay, and then look, a great game. This is going to be at Herb Steinhardt Oval on Sunday, 2:30 kickoff, Valleys versus Warwick. How important is this game for both these sides, Matty?
I think this is a massive game. Valleys obviously don't want to lose 3 in a row. It sort of, it puts the pressure right on them. For Warwick, on the other hand, sort of, I don't know that they've beaten too many of the top sides. It maybe Highfield, so probably a massive confidence boost if they can get over Valleys in this one. So I think it's a massive game.
Yeah, Murph, I think close to the end of the season, I think the most important aspect of this game is whoever loses. If Warwick lose, they go down the pecking order, right, of there. Have no fear Valleys would turn up, but if they lose, then they risk that third position.
I think that it's a bigger game for Valleys, this one, obviously. I think they need to win this, and they need to have a good game in this game going into the semis, because everyone knows what happened to the Valleys last year in the semis, and they don't want to finish 4th or 5th. I don't think they've got to finish in the top 3. So I think it's a massive game for Valleys. Warwick are probably going to finish 4th or 5th, so I think they've resigned themselves to that.
Yeah. I've actually tipped Warwick for this game because I think the major stroke is moving Benny Sullivan into halfback and getting more cleaner ball to Fuimano and Galloway.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of Warwick. We only got to play them the once through the year, and
that was a tough old game.
We sort of got away to a lead, and they sort of come right back at us. So, to be honest, I think the comp is wide open. I think anyone sort of from 1 to 5 can probably win it. The only problem being in 4 and 5 is you've got to continually win to get there. So,
I think the Warwick coach, he does his homework well on opposition teams too, doesn't he? So he'll know what areas they need to turn up and play well in as well this weekend.
And I think the secret weapon is that Redcliffe experts went out to Warwick training last week and talked to them about what they can do better and so forth. So that's going to be a ripper of a game. You're going for Valleys or Warwick?
I'll probably go Valleys, I think.
I'll go Valleys at home. I just think it's a bigger game for them. They've got to turn up and they've got to win this game. After losing 2 in a row, they need to win this game, so I think they will.
Yeah, I'm just Warwick by an absolute whisker, I think, and as well. Like the other under 18 game is Highfields versus South Burnett, because Highfields actually have the bye this week. That should be an absolute beauty. First against third there, and that is at Valleys, preceding that Valleys Warwick game. Now, Gundawindi South. South travel out to Gundawindi. They forfeited reserve grade at Dalby a few weeks ago. They turned up last week, which is congratulations, or last game. And look, it's all about Tigers, I reckon, this game, and how resilient their supporters and their family circle is. Don't you agree?
Definitely, it's been a massive year of resilience for the Tigers, and they've got to turn up out there. It's the hardest away trip for them, but a couple more games, the light's at the end of the tunnel for them, and I think they'll turn up out there to play. I just think Gundy at home, it'll be a good opportunity for them to show their home supporters what they are capable of as well.
And the amazing stat this year, Matty, is that Gundawindi haven't won a home game yet.
Is that right? I didn't know that, but that's a very what would you say, unexpected.
They've been so competitive.
Yeah, and they are. They're a good side. I probably expect them to knock off one of the bigger teams out there, to be honest with you. But
yeah, they played well against you guys a couple of weeks ago.
They really put it to us out there and had us under the pump. They'll be too strong for South in this one, obviously.
So Callum Skinner played on the weekend for him as well last weekend, so hopefully he goes around again this weekend.
Yeah, look, if they there's a bloke floating around at Gundawindi by the name of David Armstrong, and he's on the wing there. It's a shame it's only a couple of games to go. I think we're doing the Okie Gundawindi next week, but apparently he is lightning pace. Have you heard of him, mate?
No, I haven't.
Matt Gardner out there, he's come over, an English import this season. I think he's had a lot to him, and he's got a lot of good experience. I played against him over in the Super League in England, and his brother had a really good career at St Helens, who won a lot of Challenge Cups and titles in England.
Yeah, so that should be absolutely fantastic. Now on to the match of the round. is an absolute perler, and it's very, very delicious, Murph. We've got Dalby at Dalby on Sunday afternoon playing top side Wattles. It's first against second. Doesn't get any better than this, Murph, does it?
No, it doesn't. It's an early taste of what lies ahead in a few weeks' time, isn't it? So we're pretty lucky, and Dalby out there, I think they've built into the season nicely now, and I think they're sitting probably where they want to be sitting now. And to play Wattles out there, I think they'll be up for this game to try and gauge where they are really at as well.
Yeah, well, Dalby, for example, I think they've really gone well since Corey Blaze has been back. He just lifts them as well. Alex Amby didn't play last week against Gundawindi. He's there this week. Wardrop's not back. He's still a few weeks away. Danny Wassell is fighting against the clock to make the field. And one thing I have noticed with Dalby, they've had injuries, Murph, but they've coped well and won well, like they did against Warwick a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, definitely. They probably, I don't know how many times they have had their best team on the field this year, but again, that's a part of footy. But they have handled that well as well, and that's how good teams have to do in these to get where they are in the season.
Look, Blind Freddie can work out that when you're playing opposition sides, you know where their strengths and weaknesses are. And like, for example, McGrady v Chown, when they chime in, do you actually train to suit against, say, diehards of the weekend?
Our game plan probably doesn't change too much, but you obviously know maybe some key players in the opposition side and what they like to do and their tendencies and those sort of things. So you definitely are aware of that, and try to limit them as much as you can.
Yeah, whilst you're a key player for this game, I cannot say enough about your late bloomer of the season, Mitchell Duff. He had an absolute blinder against Valleys a couple of weeks ago, and he's your X factor that has really helped Perkins and Cornier and those guys, especially with Pearson being sick.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
With Bugsy being out with a broken hand, Mitchy's really stepped up, and he adds a lot of punch to the team, and he's going really well. So I wouldn't like to be picking the 17 when it comes to the finals, when they all get back.
I believe you're without Vanderpool this week?
Yeah, Nick's away this week, so I think Nathan Golden will just slip into the centres, and we'll go forward. He's played a lot there, so I don't think we'll be too,
I bet you've enjoyed having that big bench come on when they do. McGrady and those guys.
Dylan Wilson and Mitchy Duff and those big fellas when they come on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Willow Grady.
Grady, sorry.
No, that's all right. When they come on, they definitely give you a little bit of punch and, find some quick play the balls that we can play off the back of.
That's right, but I certainly like the last game you had was against Valleys. You had a bye last week, didn't you?
We did have a bye.
Right. And I didn't think, whilst they were 16-0 in front, Valleys, and I don't know, I spoke to you after the game, the ball wasn't getting where it should have been in that period, did it?
We probably didn't play the smartest game, especially in that first half.
Plenty to work on, what I'm saying.
Oh, we definitely have plenty to work on, but I thought it was a fairly high quality game of footy.
It was. Yep.
I was very happy to have the bye the week after. The body was pretty tender, so plenty to work on for this week anyway.
Who's going to win this one, Murph?
The clash of the fullbacks will be good there too. Jackson Green against Corey. I think that'll be a really good clash there, and both really good players. And I just think Wattles will get up for this one. I think they'll go out there and test themselves, and I think they'll get the win this week, and then sort of they can ease up towards the finals if they put the effort in this weekend.
Yeah, look, I have gone Wattles simply because of their all-round strength there as well. Dalby have been very, very good, led by the Taylor boys, Corey McGrady. Alex Amby is the X factor there as well. So, look, irrespective, it's going to be just a fantastic game, and I suggest you're going for Wattles, is that right?
Unless you've got some money for me, Obi. Yeah, no.
I've got heaps of money for you. You know
Jason Wardrop not playing is a big loss for them as well, I think.
Yeah, that's a massive loss for those guys. But
but they haven't missed him. They
got Beaver, haven't they?
They beat Warwick. Yeah, Beaver's going really well. And his nickname is Xavier Manly Beaver. So we go from there. So as we go to the break, let's look at an interview with two happy guys from Gundawindi. The Gundawindi Boys chairman, Tony Carter, and the mayor, Graham Shy. And they were very, very happy after that weekend of Intrust Cup footy. This is the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show.
Coming up after the break, it's Obi's Rant. This is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by Power FM, live and free on Power TV Australia.
Andrew O'Brien reporting QRL and TRL Media, and we are here at Gundawinni and two happy chappies here, the Mayor Graham Shai and the President Tony Carter. What a great event this is going to be for the weekend, Graham.
Oh, it's terrific. It's great to see the town being able to attract this and to have two clubs like this, two prestige Brisbane clubs that are well known to our district. It's great to have them out here, and I think it's a great initiative of the QRL.
Yeah, you've always been a rugby league person at heart, haven't you, Graham?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. A long time ago, but anyway, we're still following it now. And I think that the club here itself is really growing in stature at the moment. It's been a tough time for country rugby league, I think, all round. And I think this club here has done a terrific job with Tony and Schultze and the team they've put together. It's all going forward. And I'm sure these Brisbane clubs are going to see something that they'll really enjoy in a bit of country hospitality tomorrow.
Yeah, I know we're expecting a big crowd, Tony, but how thrilled should you be being the boss of the Boars at the moment?
Oh, it's a group job, mate. I'm enjoying it. When things are rolling for you, delegating's a good job. Love it.
And look, you just got to get it on the field, right? You've lost a couple of close games, mate, but what a crowd there's going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it'll be a tough one against Dolby, but we're looking forward to it. We nearly got them in Dolby, so the boys are pretty keen.
And I think these big games, Graham, and events that the council try to attract, it's nice to have these, which I'm sure will show that there'll be more to have.
Oh, I think so, and I think it shows the town can handle it. There's 350 rooms and cabins in Gundawinni, and there's not one spare tonight. So, it's a great drawing crowd. No matter what the event is, it's a great sporting town, the town. But, as you say, those years that I can remember with rugby league, there was only 3 or 4 sports to play. Rugby league was the domineering base in those days.
Redcliffe or East tomorrow?
I'll go for Redcliffe, and I know they're leading the ladder, but the town itself has had a long association with Redcliffe. We've had a lot of players go down there and be nurtured by Redcliffe, and of course, back in my first year here, we had Arthur Watkins, who was a player from Redcliffe, who moved out here, who was a captain coach and won the first premiership that we're involved in. So I don't know if he was the best man to come out of Redcliffe, but anyhow, he did the job, and it was a great year.
And Dalby play Gundawinni tomorrow, mate. How much is Gundawinni going to beat Dalby by? And do you speak to the corresponding mayor?
Yeah, well, Paul McVeigh, of course, he's a bit of a rugby union man, of course, with his son and connections. But, in the rugby union field, they knocked Dalby over last week, and I'm tipping the Boars will do the same. As Tony said, they went very, very close over there. And I think that the last couple of games I've seen and the structure that they're putting together with Schultze's and the team coordination, I think they'll get home tomorrow.
The fabric's really, really good here, and it's just a good feel in the club, as it has been all year. They've been very welcoming for the OB Cookie teammate, and what can I say?
No, sweet. It'll be great to have you here, mate. No, we're looking forward to the day, mate. Really are.
All right, two happy chappies, and it's going to be a great game tomorrow. Thanks a lot, Woodsy.
Break out the popcorn, sweets and drinks. It's Sunday night at the movies. Latest release movies brought to you exclusively by US filmmakers including Lima Films. Sunday night at the movies, so join us every Sunday night at 7 p.m. right here on Power TV Australia.
Hi, this is Mick Jagger on
Classic Vinyl.
This is Debbie Arrow from Blondie.
This is Jimmy Barnes here.
Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac.
This is Reverend Willie G from ZZ Top.
The best tracks from the greatest albums of our generation.
That's right.
From your breakfast and coffee to your drive home.
We've got the classic hits that make your workday.
When you got a job to do,
go by a lot faster.
Hey, if we haven't said it lately, thanks for listening. The home of classic rock.
Don't touch the dial.
Power FM.
PowerFMradio.com.au. Playing indoor netball, cricket, soccer, dodgeball and volleyball is a great way to keep fit and catch up with friends, and the place to go and play any or all of these sports is Action Indoor Sports. There are competitions for juniors and adults of all levels of ability, from beginners to the most experienced. Action Indoor Sports is home to Inflatable World, an inflatable theme park for all ages, and new and coming soon, indoor softball. Go and see for yourself. Action Indoor Sports is located at 31 Spencer Street, Toowoomba. Check out the website toowoombaindoorsports.com or phone 4635 9999.
Well, welcome along to My Music. I'm Jeff Black. Let me tell you about the T-Bird Diner. Well, just over here, we've got a Ford custom line that's crashed through the wall. Next episode on My Music on Power TV Australia. I'll see you then.
This is the TRL Footy Show. Now it's time for Obi's Rant.
Thanks very much, Robbo. We're here for Obi's Rant, and it is a really good one. I tell you what, the weekend at Gundawindi was absolutely fantastic in all aspects. There's 350 beds at Gundawindi, and not one of them was spare. It was absolutely packed out. It was a great crowd. The kids really enjoyed it, and the Gundawindi Boars community were absolute fantastic hosts. It is something that we really need to embrace, and gives me a bit of energy that the state leagues, we really got to get our act together down the track, but it's all about this stuff as far as the state league's concerned, and I really believe that we would be on a winner. Redcliffe and East do it well. They're long time followed clubs, and it was great to see them come out and see the former stars. I was like a kid in a lolly shop, Justin.
I saw it was a Channel 9 game too, so did you give Chris Walker any tips on his commentary as well?
Well, they asked me to do the commentary and get rid of it. No. I saw Chris Walker, and he's training for next year, mate. Did you know that?
Yeah. He's got big dreams like Jared Hayne, has he?
Yeah, well, I'm training for next year to do a better job on this job, I can tell you. But look, it's very good. The Country Carnival is a great initiative, and what they do is come out, they talk to everyone. I was speaking to Lenny Curry, mate, and I think he went to over 10 schools and training sessions with all the kids and everything. You guys both know about that?
Well, I think that's enormous that they do that, and it is sometimes in country areas, even in Toowoomba, we feel like we get left out a little bit of high-class rugby league, and those guys forget about us. But even the NRL, we've been lucky enough to have a trial, an NRL game here this year, and I've watched a lot of Thursday night NRL games this year. I reckon every Thursday night an NRL team should go out to a country and play, because in Sydney, that no one goes to the games anyway.
No, they don't. And look, Matty, what I got out of it was probably what you heard, Dave, was that the expertise of their trainers and their conditioning coaches coming to the actual clubs and schools gave the clubs and also the players so much incentive.
Yeah, no, that's really good that they get out and do that sort of stuff. It's only beneficial, so the more they do that, the better it is.
Okay, so congratulations to the Queensland Rugby League, congratulations to Gundawindi, and especially the Gundawindi Council out there. So what a great weekend. So let's look at the Player of the Year table there, guys. It'll be up on screen. And a bit of a change this week where Corey McGrady got the 2 points against Gatton. So it's a very cramped leaderboard there with James Dempsey on 16, Dylan Hayer on 16 from Oakey, Corey McGrady on 15, and then you've got Jackson Green, Dylan Chown and Mick Bloomfield and yourself there, Matty. It's great this year to see the actual points. Have you enjoyed that?
Yeah, it is good to see sort of where it's sitting. In previous years, just sort of going in a little bit blind, but I guess now I know I don't have to worry about turning up on the presentation night. So
yeah, well, it's only half the points actually, because the other half are with the coaches. Hey, Justin, my spies tell me that it's a very, very close competition this year.
Yeah, these are only the referees' points here, I think.
No, they're the Obi and Cookie
points. Obi and Cookie points. So
so we get points every game.
A lot more, and I see the two players at the top leading it. They're both teams that aren't in contention for the finals, so they've obviously had great individual seasons, and it's hard when you get that. Look, it's a great individual honour to get, but I think those boys would still rather their teams playing in the finals at the end of the season.
That's right. Now, we don't always get the points right, do we, Matty? There's three of us in the commentary most of all, and then we come back and we have a beer with the clubs, and it's a different kettle of fish, but it's nice to have that diversity, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably a tough job picking that sort of stuff all the time. So.
But you look up to me, mate, when I make those, don't you?
Oh, definitely, always. So.
I'm the guru that you always thought I was.
Well, you put the hard work in, don't you, Obi? So
yeah, I studied. It's like studying the form guide. But yeah, I remember you got 2 in a row, I think, this year, didn't you? The mug. What do you do with the mug, mate? Do you use them as a doorstop or something?
I think I gave them away to my nephew and niece, actually. So.
How could you give them away?
They're good prizes.
Stuff, mate.
Good prizes, see. So.
How many have you won over the years, mate?
Oh, not too many. Probably 3.
Yeah, right. I reckon you've won heaps, mate. And you are, I suggest, going to be in the mix come the end of the year for the player of the year, don't you reckon, Murph?
Definitely, Matty will be right up there, I think, once all the votes get in there, and another good season, and he's been consistently good up here for a number of years as well. So.
Okay, well, that's it for this week. Thank you very much to Justin. Thanks very much, Matty. All the best on the weekend for you and your Waddles, and Murph. Now, remember, next week we start our journey. We're going to Gatton, down there at Carl Park. The week after is Dalby, the week after that is Valleys, and then we go to Clifton the week after that or the week after. So it is around the clubs. We'll be doing juniors, we'll be doing seniors as well. We're really looking forward to it. So until next week, thanks very much to our sponsors, Toowoomba Sports Club, and we'll see you again. This is the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show.
Thanks very much, Obi. This has been the TRL Footy Show. Thanks to our major sponsors, Power FM, Royce Music and Computer Troubleshooters Toowoomba West. If you are in business and interested in advertising on Power FM or Power TV, you can contact us by phone or email. The details are on the screen. This has been a Power TV Australia production in conjunction with Power FM. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and remember to download the Power TV Australia app from the Google Play Store. Thanks for your company for another edition of the TRL Footy Show. I'm Robbo. Catch you next week.